log back in and start again. The joys of technology. So hang in there.
I'm good. Awesome. Hi, everyone. Sorry for the technical difficulties. Welcome to Hunger Free at SMC. We are so happy to round out the day with this presentation, and we're super excited that all of you are on this page with us today. I'm Lizzie Moore. I'm the proud president of Santa Monica College Foundation and Dean of Institutional Advancement. And these are my partners in crime, Lena and Susan, who I'll let introduce themselves super quick.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lena. I'm the Director of Student Judicial Affairs here at SMC. I co-chair Student Basic Needs Committee along with Susan and Lizzie. Welcome to Santa Monica College. We're so excited to have you and can't wait to share all of our resources and our love of SMC with you.
Hi, everyone. Susan Fila, Director of Health and Wellbeing. I know it's been a really tough 6 months. I hope that this presentation will just bring a little happiness to your life. And I'm really excited for this semester for you. And my hope is that we'll all get to see each other in person soon enough. I'll pass it over to Lizzie to start us off.
Awesome. So if you haven't already taken a look at the content where there's a fun video on there, I encourage you to do that after the presentation. And everything is being recorded, so if there's anything that you miss, feel free just to listen, and then you can look at it again. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and we'll start the presentation and then answer every single question you have in our time together as much as we can. So let me do that real quick. Awesome. So SMC cares, and we're very excited to have you here. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to go ahead and get started and talk a little bit about basic needs and the definition of basic needs. So many of you may have heard that term before, and many of you may have never heard the term, but it is a term that hits across all populations of humans, not just students, obviously, but it hits all family members and individuals across the country. But there's a particular focus right now across the United States on what's happening in our colleges. So many students, as we have learned, are both housing and food insecure. And we know that the impact of that can be very, very challenging on trying to attend class, be focused on class, get your classwork done, study, all those things that are going on. So know that we recognize that, and that your faculty also recognize that, and we're here today to help provide you with some resources that we hope will mitigate those challenges that you have with either food security or housing insecurity. You may not be housing or food insecure at all, but you may have a friend who is, so hopefully this information will be helpful to you. So, question for the group. Fact or myth? Most students enrolled at Santa Monica College are recent high school graduates. If you would throw that in the chat if you think it's a fact or a myth. Lena will let me know what the collective wisdom is of this group of 70 students, and then we'll move on.
Seeing myth, fact. 2 myths and a fact.
Okay, so
mostly myths.
Okay, great. Then you got the answer correct. So 33% of SMC students are 19 years of age or younger, which means the lion's share of our students that attend Santa Monica College are over the age of 19, and that a large percentage of our students are between the ages of 20 and 29. And at least 1 in 5 of our students today are parenting a child while enrolled in classes, which is just tremendous in the load that they're taking on with being a parent, being a student, taking care of themselves, probably working as well. So how do we help SMC students? Well, right now, one of the things that we're doing is we host a weekly food drive every single Wednesday. And we've been doing this without missing a Wednesday since we've been in the COVID-19 period. So since, end of March, we've been hosting these food drives. And any students allowed to attend. It happens every Wednesday from 12:30 to 2:30, rain or shine. And we've had some really rainy days early in our times in producing this. The location of this is right behind the Student Services Center, and it is a drive-through, so most people are coming through with their cars. However, we do have people who don't have transportation, so they take public transportation, and we have a walk-up line as well. The only thing you have to do is show proof of enrollment, and we recognize that you don't have new updated identification cards, which is not a problem at all. You just have to pull up your classes on your phone and show us that you're enrolled for fall. And you only have to be enrolled in one unit to be able to receive these benefits that Santa Monica College offers. You have to have some proof of enrollment. And again, we serve all students that are enrolled. So people want to know sometimes what do you give away? This is just a sample of some of the things that are given away each week in our food pantry. We don't know from week to week what we're going to have available, but what I can tell you is that we've had a robust amount of food, and our students walk away with at least 2 to 3 bags of groceries every single week, and that includes fresh produce. It often includes fresh eggs. Sometimes we have chicken, but we have a myriad of things available. Including the last several weeks, we've had diapers for our families who have children. So I hope that everybody who's on this call today, that if you need any assistance, that we see you tomorrow, because again, rain or shine, we're going to be there for you. So one of the things that we also recognize is that most of our students are working students, and just the ability to balance work and school, we know, is so challenging. And what we also want you to know is that we recognize that students who are working often are food insecure, despite the fact that they have 1 job, 2 jobs, 3 jobs. The truth is, with the cost of housing in Los Angeles, it's so exorbitant. We know that you're just trying to make ends meet. And we recognize that people have also lost their jobs during this COVID time. So this is why we're here to support you. So this is a fun picture. Hopefully everyone is smiling when you see this picture. These are our fur babies that come through the line with our students to pick up the goods, and they just make us smile every day and every Wednesday when they come. And we just thought that you'd get a kick out of seeing all the fur babies that come through. So I'm going to let Susan take over driving for a minute, and she'll talk a little bit about some of our other services that we have for our students.
Maybe before I start, Lena, are there any questions that you want to pose to Lizzie that would be helpful for others?
So I've been fielding some of the questions in the chat, one of which is, can you define what you feel is hunger-free SMC, what you mean by that? Another question was about whether or not the food pantry, the Drive-by Food Pantry, whether or not you're receiving or donating food. And also, is this service available in intersessions, summer or winter? And as well as when the actual Drive-by Food Pantry is. So Tuesdays or Wednesdays, there was confusion.
So it's every Wednesday at 12:30. We have students that line up early. They start lining up around 11 o'clock in their cars. Hunger-free SMC, what we mean by that is that we really try and address this for any student that's attending if they are struggling with food insecurity, as we talked about at the very beginning. What was the other questions? In terms of donating food, we have, all of our food comes from a variety of sources. So my email's in the last slide. I'll leave it there for you, and you can email me and we can talk about what you may have if you want to contribute. But we have never run out of food for our students, and we've had upwards of 400 students come through each week. In terms of sessions, we really don't see, you know, when students are hungry, they don't wait for spring or fall to need support. So we've just kept going. We haven't stopped, and we will continue to do this as long as we can. So we see, you know, we've already booked ourselves through December because that's as far as we can look, and we'll keep providing those services.
The other question is, what if I have classes during the time that you have a drive-through?
That's a good question. Right now, we don't have another way to pick up, to offer that pickup. But if you let us know, and you have a friend that's an SMC student, and you let us know in advance, we can make arrangements to help you. But it has to be an SMC student that picks up the food. You know, we've had some students who haven't been able to come, but they've sent a friend and they've let us know in advance. And I'm on site every single week, and we'll make a way to, we'll find a way to make that work for you. So Susan, do you want to talk about CalFresh?
Sure. So in addition to all of the amazing produce that the food drive gives away, it still might be kind of a distance for many of you. Not, you know, we know not all of you live on the West Side. We have students who commute from all over the place. So there are a variety of other food resources available, and other resources that I'll talk about in just a moment. But one of the food resources is CalFresh, and it's not specific to SMC. Students are eligible, depending on a few factors that we can go through with Charlene, up to $192 per month in grocery money. So if you are eligible, you get like this debit card in the mail, and you can go to almost any grocery store and access fresh, healthy produce, as well as, you know, non-perishables, perishables. I'm not going to go into the eligibility criteria too much, but what I will say is that if you are a student and you're at least half-time and you apply as a student, you also, there's a work criteria where you have to work at least 20 hours a week. However, and this deters a lot of people, a lot of students from applying, because they're like, well, I'm not working 20 hours a week, so I guess I'm not eligible. That's not true. And that's why we put this email in here, so you can email Charlene and find out if you are eligible. You can also apply to CalFresh as a non-student. So it doesn't mean you're not a student. It just means you're applying to CalFresh. You're not indicating that you're a student, so you don't need the student-specific benefits, and it removes that work requirement. So let's say you're taking just one class and you're not working. You could very much be eligible for CalFresh. And right now during COVID, they are expediting applications. And what Charlene can do is she can actually track your application with you, so that she can kind of push things along in the system, so to speak. So you'll have like a liaison who can help you through the process. Next slide. I'll talk a little bit about Chromebooks. And, you know, SMC realizes that there's a lot of technology barriers that students face with COVID-19. Like, many of you were not prepared to take classes online, right? Like, there's Wi-Fi issues, and maybe you didn't have a computer at home. We do have Chromebooks available for students who need them. So please, if you are in need of a computer, don't let that be the reason why you have to drop your class or anything like that. Let your teacher know, let your faculty instructor know that you are in need of a Chromebook, that you're in need of technology, and they can get you sort of in the queue to receive one. Next slide, please. For students who need Wi-Fi, if you have difficulty with Wi-Fi, the days of like going into Starbucks to use Starbucks Wi-Fi, I know are not happening right now because of COVID. We have Wi-Fi on our Bundy campus. Now expanded hours from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday. So please use that service if you are in need. There is no sign up. You can just drive there and access the Wi-Fi. The address is there, but I'll just say it. It's 3171 Bundy Drive. SMC also partners with community-based organizations who are real experts in, all things food, all things housing, and we really try to make sure that our students can connect directly to these agencies. So we partner with this really amazing organization called SPY, Safe Place for Youth, and we have a campus peer navigator named Sarah, and Sarah is working virtually, connecting students to housing. So if you're a student who is, either currently homeless or you're on the brink of being homeless or couch surfing, or you just maybe don't know, where you're going to stay next month, kind of like any situation where your housing is at risk, right? Or maybe you aren't sure how you're going to pay your rent or your mortgage next month. You can email Sarah, that's sfay at safeplaceforyouth.org. She does work part-time. She works with us and with West LA College, but she will meet with you and she will connect you to as many resources that she has available. So please keep that resource, write it down, make sure you have it in your back pocket. Maybe you don't need it now, but maybe a friend will need it down the line. So I encourage you to keep it. Next slide. One of the other things about COVID-19, I think that we realize now more than ever is that there are so many dimensions to just being healthy and well. It's important that we stay fed. It's important that we stay, mentally strong. It's important that we stay connected to people. It's important that if we're spiritual, we keep those connections strong. And the reason that that's so important is because when one area is lacking, it can impact a lot of areas. So let's just take food insecurity, for example. If you're not eating well-balanced meals, that can impact how you feel physically. It can impact how you do academically. So reaching out for help is really important. And we have a lot of resources that we want you to be aware of so that we can address kind of all of these areas. So we have telemental health provided by licensed therapists, and they're available for you Monday through Friday. You can go on our website. It's smc.edu/health and wellbeing. I think the email's on a later slide, but we could put it in the chat. And you can connect with a therapist. We also have therapists in special programs. So if you're a part of Black Collegians or Latino Center or Guardian Scholars or STEM or DREAM or EOPS, there are therapists dedicated to those areas. So don't hesitate to reach out. There's also some resources if you're interested in doing a mental health screening on our website. You can just click mental health screening. It's anonymous. I should also mention we have a 24/7 exclusive for SMC emotional support hotline. I'll put that number in the chat, but it's 1-800-691-6003. That's available 24/7. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're struggling emotionally, you need to talk to someone, call that number. It's confidential and it's just for SMC students. We're also going to be partnering with the Student Equity Center and Active Minds to create a safe zone training for our LGBTQ+ students. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be coming soon. And we have an Active Minds student club that meets every single week. So if you're interested in getting involved in mental health to help kind of reduce some of the stigma, we'll definitely put information in the chat about those weekly meetings. And here are just some resources. if you are needing food security resources, there's a food security email. If you need mental health support, there's a mental health email. Our website is listed there. And then, of course, if you need a Chromebook, email or speak to your professor.
Or your counselor.
Or your counselor, that's right. Yeah, your academic counselor, or really any SMC staff person. If you're not close with your faculty member, but you're a student worker, let your boss know where you're working that you need a Chromebook. All right, and coming soon, I do hope to see all of your beautiful faces in the spring. Of course, we know that might not happen with all classes because most likely we will be hybrid, but as soon as SMC opens with even the smallest number of students, we are hoping to open our new centralized food pantry called Bodega, which will house not only food, right? It's a food pantry, so we're gonna house food, but it's also going to have clothing and any other products that we can get donated. And the foundation has been amazing, accessing all kinds of donations. We have actually hundreds of socks, brand new socks, waiting for students to come and access. And this will be free for all students. So you can just come in, grab what you need and go. It'll also be run by students. So there'll be an SMC staff person there, but primarily it's going to be led by our partners and associated students and some of our students that have really led the way related to basic needs. So stay tuned for that. And we put our contact information up, but it'd be great to answer some questions.
Some of the things that came up in the chat, I was kind of able to answer. There was questions about whether or not folks can walk in to access Wi-Fi. And yes, there's some instructions about on our SMC website about accessing the Wi-Fi on the Bundy campus. So you just drive up there, see a parking enforcement officer, and they direct you to where you need to go. Just kind of be prepared to stay in your vehicles, as well as have masks available as well. Susan, one of the questions was, what's the number for the homeless help? I'm not sure that you mentioned a phone number specifically, but we do have resources that can assist with that, also up on our website.
Okay, so the question was, what was the phone number?
What's the number for homeless help?
I will post Sarah's email in the chat, but I'll also post the phone number for Safe Place for Youth. That is the organization I would call it.
I put the number for Sarah in there already.
You put her email in there?
Email in there, I just did.
Okay, thank you. I'll put the number in right now.
Some Safe Place.
Sorry, was there another question?
No, nothing that I wasn't able to answer. Let's see. The DriveThru Food Pantry. Oh yes, Susan. One of the questions was about having a recovery community, and I know we had started through the health center doing meetings weekly. And can you talk a little bit about whether or not that will continue throughout the semester and remotely?
Yes. Before COVID, we had an AA meeting and an NA meeting. So we had Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, actually 2 classrooms right next to each other happening at the same time. They were student-led and only for students. Since COVID, we did try to get an AA meeting up and running, but the student who was interested in leading it just wasn't able to. So we do really want them student-led. So at this time, we don't have a student who's reached out, who's interested, but we're always looking for students who are interested in running either MA, which is Marijuana Anonymous, NA, or AA. So if you know of a student, I'm going to put my email in the chat. Just email me, and we'll reach out to that, back to you. And we work together to just kind of like figure out logistics and set you up with a Zoom account and things like that.
So the other thing I would add to that is that we have a basic needs committee that the three of us co-chair, and that committee includes student participation and leadership. So if this is an area that you think you'd be interested in participating in, then you can, again, email us, and we would love to have your voice participate. We're doing this remotely. We meet every 2 weeks. We really want the students to help us to guide what you need. And so everything that we've put together is very much designed not only with students in mind, but by students. So it's really important to know that your peers and their points of view and their needs are being addressed. The other thing that I would like to add in there, and we didn't put a slide in about this, we do have additional meal support programs for students who are seriously food insecure. And so by talking to a counselor or to a professor, there's a way for them to connect you with additional resources and meals that are available to those who are in need.
I think kind of the summation is, if you need something, ask us and we'll figure out how we can get it to you. Our goal, and I will echo what Lizzie says, we're gonna find a way to say yes. We're gonna find a way to get you connected to what you need. So if there's anything at all, please don't ever hesitate. And that's just kind of what we're committed to doing for you as support systems to have you reach all of your goals.
And thank you for the person who posted also on some food pantries throughout LA. That's a really important point. There are a lot of resources, especially now, thank goodness, around the county of Los Angeles. So if you have a hard time finding food, you can also email food security. You can email any one of us, and we will make sure that you are connected. We don't want students driving from Palmdale, for example, to get to the food drive if finances are difficult for you. So there's food pantries all over LA. Let's find a way to connect you to them.
And I think Jacqueline asked if walk-ins were allowed for the Wi-Fi, and walk-ins are allowed. You don't have to just drive in. So if you don't have your own transportation, you just have to be at the Bundy campus, which is located at Bundy and Airport.
Yeah, and just make sure you have a cloth face covering and there's social distancing. There are, like, if you go behind Bundy, there's little tables with umbrellas. So you can sit in a comfortable spot. It's really pretty back there. It's very private. It's quiet.
And you do have to wear a face mask when you're coming to the food drive as well, for your safety and for everyone else's safety as well.
I see we have some people, or at least one, who's interested in joining or facilitating some meetings. That's awesome.
So you can ask us anything. You have a really great representation here of 3 different areas that all work very closely together. And we are here. This is your time to ask us anything. It doesn't have to be about this. If you don't know the answer, then we'll find the answer for you.
Yeah, Chief of Police, you can't go into the bathrooms at Bundy, but he did say, sort of off the record, that there is a bathroom at the COVID testing center, which is at the airport campus. So it's a little bit of a walk, but not too far. The other thing I'll mention about some of the things that the Center for Wellness and Wellbeing is doing, if you're interested, they are going to start providing some drop-in mindfulness sessions. So if anyone's really interested in kind of tuning out or tuning in to tune out, right? So you're tuning into technology, but the idea is to like unplug. It's going to be led by one of our psychologists who has been studying mindfulness for many, many years, and she's really amazing, Dr. Allison Brown. So I would encourage you to stay tuned for that. I would also encourage everyone to download the SMC Go app if you don't already have it on your phone. And you can follow the health and well-being channel and the food bell channel. And if you follow those channels, you'll get, what are they called? Push notifications. You'll get little alerts, basically telling you like this is happening virtually, or that's happening virtually. And then when we're back on ground, you'll get those updates on things that are happening on ground. So that can be a really nice way to stay connected if you don't check your email regularly. Oh, and then I see somebody put a tip in about the Wi-Fi working best on the east side of Bundy. Thank you for the tip, Matt.
So if you're new to, I just want to emphasize what Susan was saying. If you download the SMC Go app, on that app, you'll be able to sign in to, you'll be able to opt into Food Bell. And when we're back on campus, when there's extra food available from meetings or events or whatever the case may be, we send out an alert, and there's incredible food available for students for the first come, first serve. And we always have food available in some way, shape, or form. So I would encourage you first to get SMC Go app, and then into Food Bell.
In the chat about whether or not the school offers self-defense classes. Not that I know of, but maybe you ladies do.
I'm thinking the closest thing, like the first thing that comes to mind is no, but there is Title IX training opportunities available. It's not really self-defense, but it's learning about sexual assault and what some of the rules and regulations are around that. I would love to see that offered at the college.
Another question, whether or not students coming for Welcome Week need to register each day. I'm not sure about that. Brenda, are you on the call? Can you answer that? Or Matt? And no, we don't have boxing classes.
Yeah, right now there's no sports on ground. The only classes that are on ground are nursing and respiratory therapy. Sorry, Lena, I cut you off.
Oh, no, I just see someone was typing an answer to the question of whether or not students needed to register each day of Welcome Week to join presentations.
So I would love to know if people want to throw into the chat, if maybe we're going to see you tomorrow, yes or no, at
Wednesday.
I'm sorry, we're going to see you Wednesday. Thank you, Susan. At 12:30 for the DriveThru Pantry. We'd love to see you. Yes or no? Curious.
While we're reading the responses, Lena, do you want to say a little bit more about Active Minds? Because I know student clubs are still happening virtually. And just kind of like what the purpose is?
Sure. So they might have a session in student life. So Active Minds is a student club on campus. They're an advocacy group dedicated to doing outreach and work related to destigmatizing access to mental health and access to resources in general. And sometimes access to food security and basic needs things becomes a stigmatized thing. So Active Mind students work again together to do different campaigns throughout the year. Stress Less Before Finals. There's like a virtual knitting group that they did last semester. So it's really a close-knit group of students that do a lot of advocacy work around campus. So if you all are interested in joining a group like that to help kind of connect students to the resources that they need, it's a national organization. There's probably 800 campuses or so around the country that have Active Minds chapters. So most likely places you'll transfer will have opportunities to join the groups. And there's conferences we go to every year, and students really get a leadership role in helping connect their fellow students to resources and services. So it's really great if you're looking for a club to join. Yoga. We have a yoga club, or we did. I'm just flipping through the chat. Say it again?
We do have yoga. I believe they're being
great. So we have a yoga club, and Active Minds actually partnered a lot with the yoga club to do events. So we did like a quick nap series before finals, where we like laid out yoga mats in the library and led students through kind of breathing exercises and let folks rest and relax kind of in between finals, and kind of did drop-in yoga throughout the year, kind of on our quad. So we're very excited to get you all back on campus for all these great activities for sure. Did I miss anything in the chat? I don't think so. Got a lot of yeses for coming on Wednesday.
I'll just answer one of the questions that Lizzie.
Oh, sorry. It just that if one of the answers was if I had a car, you can actually walk up to the drive-through pantry. So there's options to do that. You absolutely don't need a car. Just keep in mind, bring face covering with you. Aw, the animals. Sorry, shiny ladies. So yeah, you can absolutely walk by. Susan, I'm sorry I interrupted you. Go for it.
No, I just wanted to say what Lizzie wrote in the chat. So for anyone else who wants to attend the pantry but can't make it, there's a walk-up. So you can just, you can get there, and there's a walk-up tent, and we have about, what is it, Lizzie, like 80 students plus who go to the walk-up every week. I will say it would be good if you could bring something to carry the food, because there is a lot. So either a pulley suitcase, which would probably be the easiest for your back, or like a not a grocery cart, but you know, those laundry things with the wheels. A book bag, Lizzie, would work, but you can't fit everything.
Yeah, there's a lot, and we will have bags available for you. You can't, but if you have your own that you want to, if you have a duffel that you wanted to bring, and it will get loaded up, and we make sure that everybody leaves with a ton of things. So I would invite you to say hello on Wednesday. I keep thinking tomorrow's Wednesday, sorry. I would invite you to say hello on Wednesday if you decide you're going to stop by. You'll see me there. I'll be wearing this t-shirt. And I just want to say thank you for being a part of this day. Are there more questions? I've never been
there are, Lizzie. They want to know the name of the animals.
Oh, tell yours first. This is Winston.
No, I wish
this is Winston.
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 And this is Joni.
Joni.
I also see someone put in that self-defense classes are remote for fall. I totally
we have self-defense classes at SMC. Thank you, Jack, for letting us know.
Yeah.
We might sign up for those with you. And then the other question was, I've never been on campus. Do you guys have a map for the food pantry?
So we actually have 10 different food closets on campus, and on some of our satellite campuses, plus the main bodega that Susan mentioned that we're going to be visiting when we are open. And everybody, we're a relatively small enough campus that everybody knows where it is. We will have a map available when we're back on campus so that you know where the food access to food is. But every faculty member should know, your counselors should know. You have our emails, you can ask us. We welcome your emails for things like that.
talk about the drive-through food pantry, like where students would enter while we're remote? Like if they're going to come on Wednesday.
Wait, ask the question again.
So if students were to come on Wednesday to the drive-through pantry, could you describe kind of where entering off of Pearl?
So there's it's called Lot 1, which is behind the new Student Services Center, which is the big new building that's on the corner of 19th and Pico. And you have to enter off of Pearl Street, which is our bordering street. There's a parking garage or a drive-through there at just about 20th and Pearl. You'll see us without question because there's a line of cars that start at about 11 o'clock and line up, and we get to see everybody. And everybody knows what's happening on Wednesday, so you'll find us without question. My cat's name is Winston, and I have Lola, another cat, and I have a big 110-pound lab, Jack. Jack.
So we'll take just a couple more questions if folks have any questions at all. I think Lena either got booted out or had to go. Don't try to lift it, Lizzie.
I thought I was going to have him sit. Come up here. Come up here. Jack. Look here, Jack. Look here.
That's a big dog.
That's my big dog. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Have a great first day of school. We hope to see you on Wednesdays, and we are here for you. So proud to be SMC.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Okay. You guys need to click out of whatever it is that you're doing. It's still showing it's live.
Well, it says you have successfully logged out on my screen.